There are so many feelings that go into buying a home. There's a lot of excitement. It's a little bit like buying a lotto ticket and fantasizing about how you'd spend that money if you actually won. You might start imagining what city or neighborhood you want to buy in, what kind of kitchen you'd have, or how nice it would be to have a spa-like tub in your bathroom, maybe even a pool in the backyard. But then you start coming back to reality, and that excitement turns into fear. You'll wonder, is it possible? What can I really afford and how will I pay for it? So you go to a lender and you get pre-approved and might be pleasantly surprised by the amount the lender has approved you for. You're now thinking, wow, I'm in better shape than I thought. If I can just stretch it a little bit more, maybe I can get into my ideal neighborhood or a 3-car garage instead of just 2. Then that doubt, it creeps back in. You might wonder, can I really afford it? I'm here to tell you, listen to that doubt. I know it's not what you expect a real estate agent to tell you, but I don't want you to end up where I did when I bought my first home. So I'll share with you something personal. When I bought my first home, banks were handing out loans like candy on Halloween night. The more house you wanted, no problem. I won't rehash all the issues during the mortgage crisis era, but I will say I was one of the lucky ones. I put a small amount of money down. I took a standard 30-year fixed loan, even though my payment was massive. But I paid almost 25% over asking price. Yep, 25% over asking. It wasn't a great investment, but I was ready to own my own place. And it was the cost that it was at the time. I ended up upside down for a number of years on that loan, meaning prices went down and I owed more than it was worth. There were many times I wanted to do a short sale, but thanks to the insistence of my mother, I held on for 20 more years. So take this advice. Real estate is a great investment. It's probably the best investment you can make, but it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's an investment that works out for the best when you're in it for the long haul. And the first, most important piece of advice, do not buy at the top of your pre-approval amount. Let me show you why. So you've applied for a loan and you're excited by the amount you've been pre-approved for, but there's a little feeling in your gut that's making you wonder if you can really afford that monthly payment. So let's take a detailed look about how you should really be looking at that loan. The way lenders calculate the amount you're pre-qualified for is this. If you're applying for a conventional loan, you can get up to 50% of your gross income, that's gross monthly income, for your mortgage payment, or 56% if it's an FHA loan, minus any existing debts you may have, like a car payment or credit cards or student loans. Remember, they take a look at your total gross monthly income. That's the amount you make before taxes, insurance, retirement savings, and those types of things are all taken out of your check. Let's do the calculation for a conventional loan. Let's say your gross monthly income is $10,000 per month. $10,000 times 50% is $5,000. Let's say you also have a car payment and some credit card debt, and that totals $500 a month. I'm going to keep these numbers simple. So let's deduct those other debts. So $5,000 minus $500 is $4,500 a month. Congratulations! You can be approved for a mortgage payment of $4,500 a month. Now hold on a minute. Can you really afford that? For the sake of this video and making the calculations easy, let's say you pay 25% of your income to federal and state income taxes. So $10,000 minus 25% is $7,500 take-home pay. Let's say you also save. You might have other deductions from your gross income, like medical insurance, if your employer doesn't cover 100%. So be sure to factor in those expenses too into your calculation. So let's say your take-home pay is $7,400 a month, and you've just pre-qualified for a mortgage with a $4,500 a month payment. Wow! That's more than 60% of your take-home pay going to just pay your mortgage payment. Don't forget, you haven't factored in any of the other expenses of owning a home. Here are the big ones. Property taxes. Make sure when you're getting ready to buy that you know the cost of property taxes in the city you plan to buy in. The information can usually be found on the county tax assessor's website. Be sure to also look for supplemental tax bills. These are in addition to the main property taxes. For the sake of this video, we'll use this example. If you're buying a home that is $1 million and the tax rate in that city is 1.1% of the sale price, you need to plan on a tax bill of $11,000 per year, plus any supplemental tax bills. Now, here's where a lot of buyers make a mistake. Some websites where consumers go to search for homes, like Zillow.com or Realtor.com, will list the current property taxes of a home. I can't tell you how many times buyers will say to me, but look, the taxes on that home were only $3,000 last year. And they're really excited about it. But hold on. Yes, the taxes for that house and that owner who currently owns it were $3,000 last year. But they will not be $3,000 for you when you purchase the house at the current market value. Why? Well, property taxes are reassessed when a home is sold to a new owner. They are reassessed based on the sale price. Now, this is how it works in my state of California. It may be different in other states, but in California, we still have Prop 13, which helps keep our property taxes from reassessing up to current market value while we own our homes. People love to hate Prop 13 until they realize that if it wasn't there, they couldn't stay in their home when it's time for them to retire because they simply couldn't afford to pay the taxes. So Prop 13 is a great thing for you if you're planning to stay in your current home during your retirement years. In addition to taxes, you will also have to pay insurance on your new home too. If you need a recommendation for a great insurance broker in the state of California and the state of Washington, I have the best one. I'll put their information in the description below. When you're a homeowner, you are now responsible for all the maintenance and upkeep too. So you need to have some money set aside to keep your home maintained and fix any emergencies that may arise. Replacing a broken water heater can easily set you back $1,500. So now that you've done some calculations and figured out what payment amount and home limit price you're comfortable with, you need to get your savings in order. If you're going to get a conventional loan, you're going to need a down payment, usually 3 to 20% of the purchase price. Or if you've been an amazing saver up until now, maybe you have enough money to pay cash for your new home. In which case, you don't need any financial advice from me. In addition to your down payment, you will also need money to cover closing costs. Closing costs are expenses associated with closing escrow on your purchase. Things like title insurance, county transfer tax, city transfer taxes, notary fees, etc. When you get to this point, ask your real estate agent to give you a list of possible closing costs for your geographic area. And finally, you want to have an emergency savings fund. I like to call this my oh shit fund. I'm not a financial expert, but I like to keep about 6 months of expenses in that fund. And to be even on the safer side, make it 6 months of your net monthly income. Bottom line, this is a fund that will help you get through a job loss, a medical emergency, unforeseen housing repairs. It's set aside for that. And you will feel so much more at ease knowing that if something were to happen, you've got your monthly payments covered and you're not going to be accruing any new debt. Another issue I see with buyers is they fail to plan ahead. Even if they have the loan pre-qualified, the down payment ready, and the oh shit fund funded, oftentimes they will fail to adequately give themselves enough time to buy a house. Buying a house is not like leasing a home. You could possibly find and lease a home and move into it in as little as 7 days, or even less. It's not possible when buying a house unless you're paying cash, maybe, but even paying cash, it's probably not possible to be in a house in 7 days. Let's look at the timeline for buying a house. Start your search. That's going to take at least 1 to 3 months. Maybe less if you know exactly what you want and there's a lot of inventory on the market. But in our current market, it's going to take a lot longer. How long it takes you to find a home is going to depend on a few things. If you're buying in the seller's market, plan on it taking longer than you expect. If you're looking for a very specific home and aren't willing to consider anything else, it's going to take you longer to find a home. Once you find it, you have to get your offer accepted by the seller. Not an easy thing to do in a seller's market when you'll be competing against multiple offers. Woohoo! Offers accepted. Escrow period has begun. So, what's a typical escrow period? It's 30 to 45 days. This is how long it will take for the escrow officer to get all your title paperwork done, for you to get through your inspections, and for the appraisals to be done. And also when your lender will be asking you for more documents than you ever imagined possible to get your loan through underwriting. So as you can see, even if you find the perfect home on day 1, you can move into it on day 2. So plan ahead, and if you're renting, try to time the end of your current lease with when you'd be buying a home. And if you can, ask your landlord if they'll consider going month to month on your lease while you're searching for a home. The last mistake I see buyers make is focusing on the equity when buying a home they're going to live in. As I said before, I think real estate is the best investment you can make, but it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. If you're buying a home to live in, then buy it to live in. Don't buy it because you think you'll gain a bunch of equity in the future. Think of the possibility of future equity gains as a bonus. Now, I'm not saying to buy something that's a terrible investment, but if you're going to live in the house, focus on those needs first. Save the equity investment for purchasing a rental property. I'm Maria Dura, a Bay Area real estate agent. If you're looking to buy or sell in the Bay Area, give me a call. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I'll be posting future videos that you might find helpful too. And I'll see you in the next video.